There's a forgotten battle in World War II so violent that an entire American platoon was nearly erased in a single afternoon. But one soldier, a 19-year-old kid from Ohio, refused to die. And what he did in the next 10 hours is something no history book ever told you. His name was Private Thomas Tommy Reed. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a commander. He wasn't even supposed to be in the battle. He was just a skinny kid from the cornfields who joined the army after his older brother died at Pearl Harbor. For Tommy, the war wasn't about glory. It was about finishing what his brother never got the chance to. On June 7, 1944, the day after D-Day, Tommy's unit, the 116th Infantry of the 29th Division, was ordered to take a small French village called La Ruelle. Intelligence said the Germans were retreating. Light resistance, easy mission. But the real situation was much worse. As the unit reached the edge of the town, the world went silent. Then a sniper round cracked through the lieutenant's helmet. Machine guns roared from the trees. Mortars exploded everywhere. In seconds, half of Tommy's platoon was on the ground, some screaming, some gone forever. Tommy dove into a crater, shaking, ears ringing, covered in dirt. Then he heard it, a voice through the smoke. "Help! Somebody help!" It was Private Miller, just 18 years old, bleeding in the open. Tommy knew leaving the crater meant almost certain death, but he also knew Miller wouldn't last another minute. So Tommy ran. Bullets snapped past him as he dragged Miller back to cover. Miller cried, "Why'd you come back for me?" Tommy whispered, "Because I'd want someone to do it for my brother." For the next 10 hours, Tommy went out again and again, crawling, dragging, carrying. He saved whoever he could. Sometimes he pulled men he thought were alive, only to realize they weren't. At one point, he lay completely still as German soldiers walked less than 20 feet away. A mortar blast threw dirt into his eyes, but he kept moving, because if he stopped, more friends would die. Late in the afternoon, he spotted Corporal Davis, his unit's best sniper, trapped behind a broken wagon. Davis had taken a bullet through the ankle. He grabbed Tommy's collar and said, "Don't risk it for me." Tommy told him. He picked up a rifle and held the line alone, firing until reinforcements finally arrived. When they reached him, he was kneeling, exhausted, gripping the rifle even though his hands were shaking. Behind him were 12 wounded American soldiers, all alive because of him. A general later asked, "Why didn't you wait for backup?" Tommy looked at the ground and said, "They didn't wait for me, so I didn't wait for them." He received the Distinguished Service Cross. He never bragged about what he'd done. When people asked him about the war, he said, "I didn't survive because I was brave. I survived so someone could tell their families what happened." When nearly every man in his unit fell, he was the reason 12 families got to hug their sons again. And sometimes the greatest soldiers in American history are the ones the world forgets. If you want more true, dark, and powerful stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Decode the Dark.